12,215 plus 3,819. Okay, so this is addition with borrowing, or carrying, sorry. 9 plus 5 is 14. 4 in the ones place, 1 up here, we'll carry it, so I'm going to just make it red here. We'll carry that 1. What's up with that? Alright, 1. So then that's 3, because we added those. 1, 2, 3. And 8 plus 2 is 10. What the heck? So we're going to put the 0 for the 10, for the number 10 there, and we're going to put the number 1 up here. And I am going to carry, well, I carried it, now I'm going to add it. So 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 3 is 6. My son is playing a game in the background, and I'm just living with that. Okay, this is 1. As I brought a 1 down here, 1 plus nothing is 1. So the number is 16,034. So 16,034. That's the answer. Let's put equal sign. Okay, we're on problem 5, and we're doing this. This problem, and this is part of our discussion, and the question in the discussion was, how come we can come up with the answer to this very quickly? What is the principle that it's based on? And it's based on the principle that any number times 0 is 0. So if you have a 0 multiplied by anything, it doesn't matter whether it's 3, 7, and we have a 1 over here, answer will always be 0, because you're multiplying 0 times another number. In this case it's 2 numbers. But let's work that out. If we did 7 times 3, 7 times 3 is 21, and we still continue to multiply it. Let's use the parentheses just like they're using, because that indicates multiplication. And 0 is the next step. We still end up with the answer of 0. Let's put some spaces in there. So that's the principle, is any number times 0 is 0. So it doesn't matter if it's a series of numbers, and of course that is the same for this one down here, number 10, jumping over to number 10. It doesn't matter how many of these other numbers there are, the minute you multiply it by 0, it becomes 0. So it is 0. And how do we prove that? If we actually did the other multiplication, which would be 5 times 2 is 10, times 15 is 150, times 1 is 150. So it would be like saying 150. Maybe I just went too fast. All I did to get 150 was multiply all of those numbers shown in other than the 0, because then the 0 is still left, and you have an answer of 0. So whether you notice this right away and the answer is 0, which is great because you understand the principle, or whether you work it all the way out, you still get the answer of 0. Problems 6 and 7. And here we go. This was also in the discussion, and I asked which number here was the dividend and which was the divisor for both number 6 and number 7. So here we go. Number 6 divided by 0. Let's put it under this model here because that's the way it's listed. Divided by 0. And quotient is the answer. Whenever divisor is 0, the answer is undefined. And you need to remember these things. Undefined. And no matter what situation, when the divisor is 0, so if we had 0 and it looked like this in a fraction form, quotient being answer, the answer is still undefined. And it's important to know this in all three formats. Remember where the dividend is in each of these formats. Remember where the divisor is in each of these formats. Okay, so in this situation, divisor is out here, so whenever the divisor is 0, doesn't matter, we're using the same example. And this is problem number 6, it's got 6's everywhere here, straight across the board here. So when the divisor is 0, the answer is undefined, and I'm putting the word undefined in the quotient area. Quotient is answer. Okay, so no matter how you work out this problem, the answer is always undefined. Remember, dividend is to the left, divisor to the right. You can remember that if you look at this R here, stick the divisor on the right side of this sign. So, divisor here, here, and here, and that's when it equals 0. So divisor is on the bottom. I know I'm overkilling that, but there we go. So let's look at problem number 7, which is right after it. And really quickly here we are. It is 0 divided by 37. So we have, and it's given in this format. Let me put a line there so you can kind of follow along what I'm doing. Oops. So problem 6 goes all the way across the top there. And what do we have? 0 divided by 37. So now you have it set up this way, divided by 37. The dividend is now 0. And when the dividend is 0, the answer is 0. So this is divisor. Okay, so once again, divisor is on the right, R for right. So in this case, the same problem. This is 0 the dividend, 37 the divisor. Now let's build the problem with this format. Dividend is 0, divisor is 37, and that equals 0. So when there's a 0 on top, a 0 goes there. When there's a 0 to the left, a 0 goes there. And in this situation, we have the divisor is 37. The dividend is 0, so the answer is 0. So divisor, when divisor is 0, the answer is undefined. So when the divisor is 0, it's undefined. When the dividend is 0, the answer is 0. So when the dividend is 0, the answer is 0. When the dividend beep is 0, the answer is 0. So remember that. I keep saying that over and over. But really, do your best to study these formats. Remember where the divisor is, where the dividend is. When divisor is 0, the answer is undefined. When the dividend is 0, the answer is 0. So write that down somewhere. When the divisor is 0, the answer is undefined. When the dividend is 0, the answer is 0. Okay, now we're going to do problems 8 and 9. So let's go back to my little paint board. And problem 8, I'm going to do across this way, and problem 9 across this way. So they're both written in this format here. And if you saw me do dividing with zeros, you saw me doing this format. And the other one is, yeah, I always forget, 15 divided by 1. So I'm doing this in these different formats so you keep familiarizing yourself with these formats. Dividend on the left, divisor on the right. Whenever they're the same, your answer is 1. Whenever a 1 is here, boop, the answer does not change. The dividend answer doesn't change. The answer is the same. 1 does not change anything. Okay, so and you could put this into any format. Dividend, boop, 8 over divisor, which is also 8, will always equal 1. Whenever those numbers are the same, those will always equal 1, and that's really important when you move to algebra. So in this situation, you have dividend on the left, so dividend is on top in this format. Whenever you have a 1 in the divisor or 1 on the bottom of a fraction, the answer doesn't change. Dividend is 15, divisor 1, so the answer, of course, is 15. In any of these situations, when the divisor is 1, the answer, the number doesn't change. And then up here, we have 8 divided by 8 equals 1, whether it's set up this way, 8 divided by 8 equals 1, and 8 into 8, or 8 divided by 8, is also 1. Okay, that's those two.